Alternative order capturing. Hey Marshall, welcome to the community, brother. Is there a way that I can use the card view for order capturing? I am developing an inventory management app for my warehouse. The product list is in the card view organized by category. In place of a drop-down search, is it possible to use a card view that is identical to the main product list as a way to select items to add to an order? Other than the view type, the actions for the cloned view would be made to function for order capturing. Essentially, I want to be able to add items into an order by selecting the items as if I were scrolling through the main product list card view. I hope this makes sense. I am trying to minimize typing and small touch inputs as gloves will be a factor in the use case. The card view allows large enough surface area for touch input without sacrificing too much of the items that fit on the screen at once. Well, Marshall, the answer is yes. There's a lot involved. Not a lot, but I mean, there's things involved to make it happen. Just thinking like off the top of my head. So there's no way to use that card view inside the form in a way to where the actions will work. So you could display the inline view of all of the items as a card view inside the form, right? And it would be an inline view, and it would be in the same thing that you would see outside the form, but it's inside. So you could like click on view and it would open up, or you could like click on the record, it would open up like a little detail thing. And this is all like inside of inside the form. But I don't think the actions work from inside that space. So the way in which you could make something actually work like what you would want is you'd have to do this like two-step type of process where you've got a like you create the order and then the order is like flagged in a status of building, right? And so then the order, you have a slice that holds all of the building orders for the current user. And so then you can use that slice and make a view based off of that, right? And you can put that at the bottom as one of the main navigation things that appears whenever there is an open order so that people can get right back to the order right away. But what you can also do is you can base functionality on, so on the card view that you have, right? There's an event action for when somebody taps on the whole record, the whole card thing itself. So you can take that over, and instead of it taking you to, the details of whatever that card record is, you can instead put a conditional action there that says only run if there's one of these open orders. And if there is, what it does is it creates one of those order line items with whatever product that you just created. So it's one of those create a row in another table using values from this table or whatever it is. It's where you'd create the line item using whatever product ID you just clicked on. You'd put that into the record and it would match up with whatever the open order is. You would grab that and put that into the order reference so that line item's connected to the appropriate order and we get whatever item the person clicked on. So this would give you the functionality of like start an order, right? Maybe you enter like name, date, or whatever. Then you hit save. And then you can have a navigation actions on that save event that take you to the master products card list. And so you can scroll through, right? And then you have that event action that's now active because there's an open order. And so when someone taps on it, it creates that line item, adding that product to the order. And then you can create, and then what I'd also create some formatting rules for the individual products that only run whenever there's an open order. What I'd do is I'd create another slice of the open order line items. That way you have that in its own separate little bucket. Because then you can say, is because then you can say from the product table standpoint, you can say, is this product inside the products for the open order line items? And if it is, make this one like, green with a check mark, or something like to denote that it's already been added to the order. So this gives your users the flow of start an order. They're then taken directly to a list of products where they can scroll down and be like, I want that one, I want that one, that one, that one. And when they tap on them, there's stuff that happens, and they like change color or whatever, or maybe whatever. So then they can go through and add everything that they want, right? And when they're done, then they go back to that open order. That's why you create a little navigation thing down in the bottom. So they go back to the open order, and then you have a button that says finalize or something of this nature. And through that, that's how you can bring about the type of functionality that you want. I have a sample app here that contains the vast majority of all of the tables and columns and connections and everything necessary in order to make this sort of functionality work. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this video is, this is going to turn into a build video where I'm going to go over how you can take the looping with actions sample app that I have, link down in the description, and turn that into this alternative ordering style app. Let's get to it. So here I am with the looping with actions sample app. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to make a copy of this app. Now that I've got my sample app copied, the first thing that I'm going to do is go through and delete all of that looping with actions. Starting on the orders table, which is the top of the database. So we have new first order detail. Let's keep that because we're going to need to reuse that. But we need to get rid of this loop. We need to get rid of this loop. We can get rid of execute loop. We can leave the rest of these. If we go into the save order, we see, yep, okay, that's fine. Okay, so everything there should be fine. So let's save this and see if the system complains about anything. Nope, no errors, that's good. Okay, so the thing that we want to do now is we've got to create a way to flag the order with a status. So you can see there's only 2 columns inside this order table, and if I show you the way that it works is you select whichever products that you would like included, and then the looping with actions system would go through and create one record for each product that you selected in that list. So what we really need to do now is we can change this, this order products to, let's change it to order status. And let's make this an enum with the options of building and complete. The type here should be a text. We want to make those buttons. Because we're changing it, we need to clear this validation thing. We don't need that. Let's make this required because we absolutely want them to have a status here. And let's make the status building. So I'm going to copy that and come down here to the initial value and put that in double quotes. So this makes it to where when we first create the record, it will be in the building status. It's editable. We can have a display name. Yeah, you can do all this other stuff if you want. The real important thing is it's an enum with building or complete, and it starts with building. Okay, now with that, we should save. That might break, some things. So this remaining products to be created, we can delete that. We don't need that anymore. Created products, we can delete that. That was part of the looping thing. And if we save this and see if there's any more errors. Okay, we got a couple of errors down in behavior. Makes sense. Let's see. What are the ones? New first order and auto delete. Okay. This was part of the process that would keep the order records enum list of products in line with whatever records were already created. So we can get rid of this one. This, I still want to keep this. It's just what we want to do is we just need to, get rid of this for now, because we're gonna eventually need to create an order product thing like this, so we can just use that. I think that's everything it's gonna be mad at. Oh, there's still another one. What don't you like? Oh, you don't like this. Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. And then let's get rid of that. All right. So now that we have all of that established, if we go back to the orders table, what I would do is let's go through and just delete all of these old records, essentially clear out the database. If I push that, it should also automatically delete all of the other records as well. And we can check if that's happening by going to view source. If we go to orders, we see those are slowly going away, and order details, yep, those are following as well as order detail fulfillment. Perfect. All right, so now we've got an empty table here. I'm going to rename this here because this is now status. And so the next thing that we need to do is create a slice that will hold the building orders. So if we go over to slices and create a new slice of the orders table, and we'll call this building orders. And the condition we want is where the order status is building. Thanks for the thanks for the autofill, guys. And we do not need to be able to add, but we do need to be able to update, definitely, and delete. It's entirely up to you. The next thing we should do, now that we have a slice of all of the building orders, is create a view that will show us that building order. Now I'm going to create it as a detail view because the idea is there will only be one ongoing building order at a time. So the thing that I will do is we'll go to UX and I'll create a new view. It's for our building order slice. It's a detail view. I'm going to call this building order detail. And the thing that we want to do is we want to only show this if is not blank building orders order ID. So the idea here is we only show this view when there is an ongoing order, when somebody is building something. And so like here, I'll make this, let's see if we search for time, I could do, like a clock, and we'll call this building order, right? Now what I'll do is I'm going to copy this formula and I'm going to create another view here on the left position that will be for the order table, and this is new order. You see where I'm going with this? This will be a form in the left position, and so I'm going to call this, we'll make this a plus sign. We'll say new order, and the show if condition is the opposite of this. So all I have to do is take out the not. So if is blank building orders, show this view, which is take someone to the new order form. And so with that, what we've done is we've created this button, the appearance of this button down on our primary navigation bar, where if there's no open order, there'll be a plus button. But once we create an order and it's still in the process of building, we'll have that little clock button that we put down there that will take us to the order that we're doing. Now the effect to the user is I've clicked this same view space, like the button space, didn't change. I did one to create it, and so then I go there to look at it again. So if we test that out, we can create a new order and save that, and now we have building order. Now that we have a flag that's holding this order in this open status like this, we can base other functionality elsewhere in the app on the status of is not blank that slice. First, let's make this product view a card view and make it look nice. So I want it to be a list where this is, yep, the image. I like the round one. We're gonna contain it, fill it, cover, doesn't matter. Oop. This is kind of all to your heart's content here. You know, this is the name, this is the barcode. That works for me. We can make this the description. So this is now we got a card view. So I will take over all of these actions inside of here. I don't want them to be any of these. Yeah, just leave them all blank. Move that to this and then make it to none. There we go. So if we save this, so now we have a card view of all of the products. So the next thing to do is to create the action that will create the order line item record with whatever product that we've selected or we've tapped on from the product table. So if we go over here to behavior, we kept that first order detail creating action. So the thing that we need to do is we can take this over. Let's rename this to add new line item this. So I'm going to call this action add new line item this product, because the idea is that exact thing. We're going to create a new line item for this product. This action lives on the product table. It executes the same thing, you know, add a row to this table. The thing that we need to change here now, the order link, we can't leave this the same because we're no longer on the order table. What we need to do is we need to grab, if I still have this, yeah, here we go. What I need to do is grab the order ID out of that slice. And so I can just change this formula I had on my clipboard to index 1. Since the building order slice will always only have one order, I can build this sort of functionality with the confidence to know that when this action executes, it's only going to link to that open order that the person just created. So now that I have the order link established to the ongoing part, the next part is the product. So we'll come in here and say order detail product, and this action lives on the products table. So all of the columns are from that context. And so all we can do is come down here and say use the key, because that's the key for the products table. And so this, and with this, our action is done. What this accomplishes is it creates an order detail record that links the building order with whatever product the person just clicked on. Now, we only want this to run when there is an ongoing order. So we come down here to the condition and just use this. Same thing that we used for the view condition. And with that, you could add a confirmation in here. That might get annoying for users because they'd have to tap yes every time they wanted to say when they're trying to add something. Now that we've got our action created to create that linking record, we need to put that action into the event for when somebody taps on one of those cards. So if we go to our view here over on the, we can just click that. So if we click on just the main white space here, you can see on click, go to details. And so if we change this to add new line item product and save this so that we can see what it looks like. Whenever I have an ongoing order, when I tap on a product, notice that there's this little one that appeared here. Now, a lot didn't happen there. There was no indication that anything changed, so we'll need to do something about that. But if I go and look at my order, you can see product 2 is inside there. Now, if I come down here and I tap on product 5, now if I go back to my order, product 5 is now in there. So you can see this is going to allow them to be able to be like, yep, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And then I can come back here and all of my products are on here. So the next logical step for us is to create a formatting rule for the products table that looks to see if the product is already inside the order. That way, when somebody taps on the record, there's a decent indication that something has happened. So the first thing that we really need to do is we should create a slice of the order details table of all of the order detail items that are for the building order. So the way that we can do this is we come over here and make a new order details slice, and we'll say these are the building order details. And nope, none of the suggestions work. Basically, my formula, yep, here again, what I want to say is I want to use an in statement where I want to say is in the order, if the order link is inside the building orders table, right? Because there's a column that's a reference back to the order. And so what I'm saying is if that referenced order is inside the building order slice, show this record. So what this is going to give us is we'll leave it with, I need all of those. So what this is going to give us is a slice of all of the order details that we just created. And so with that, we have a list of all of the products that you created, because the product ID from the order details is just a column. And so if we pull a list of all of the products, there we go. Next, we go to formatting rules, and we can create a new one on the products table, and we'll say product included in building order, right? And the condition here is where in, and what we want is the key, so that's going to be the product ID. And then if I just I lost the name of my slice, so I gotta go get it again. Building order details. So I say in keys, that's the key, that's the product ID, and then my list, this is my slice of building details. And if I go look at my order details column list, I want out of that my order detail product. This part of the formula creates a list of all of the products that have been selected inside the ongoing order details. And what this formula then further checks to see is the key for this product inside the building order details. If it is, then let's see, what should we format? The name, we can put like a check, just like that. And like maybe we will underline and italicize and make it bold so that it's pretty clear that these things have already been chosen. Now, our product table represents an accurate reflection of the products that are inside my order already. Before I get into anything else, I want to take a moment and talk about today's sponsor, AppSheetTraining.com. You've likely seen or heard something from the guys over at CrewTech in the community. They put together an AppSheet training platform for maximum learning speed and skill acquisition. With an ever-growing library of on-demand content as well as live instructor-led courses, they have something for everyone. Whether it's data table design, expressions, workflows, UX design, or any other AppSheet topic, they have you covered. Head on over to appsheettraining.com and use the code MultiTech/15 for 15% off any guided path or module. All right, back to what we were talking about. The thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to include some of that functionality that I talked about earlier in this video, where if the product is already inside the order, I'm not going to create another one. Instead, what I'll do is I'll have an additional pop-up up here that will notify you that you've already done that. And then if you say yes, it'll create the record. The formula that we need to use is essentially this one. So I'm just going to copy this, and we can come over to behavior. If we go down to this add products part, I want to add in another condition here. I want two things to be true. First off is not blank the building orders, and is not in the key the building order details products. Yeah. So now this will fire up. What this does is it makes it to where not only will this action only fire off when there is a building order, but also it will only fire off if the key for the specific product is not inside the list of products that have already been added to the order. If I save this and we can see what this looks like, what happens now is if I click on something that's already been done, nothing happens, right? But if I click on one that hasn't been added yet, something happens. It creates that record. So the thing that I would like to do next is I need to create a duplicate of this action that runs only whenever the thing is already present. This one will have the confirmation message, though, that will pop up and say, that will alert the user saying, hey, you've already added this. Are you sure you want to add it again? So if we copy this and let's see, I'm going to add and call it add new line item this product. I'm going to call this add duplicate. And then what I'll do is I'll come down here and turn on the confirmation, and we need to change this to where if this is inside. Yep. Okay. So if that's true, then what do we want to say? This product is already included inside this order. Are you sure you want to include it again? And I will include all of that inside that. The last piece of this is to create a composite action that puts all of these together. So the composite action always runs when someone taps on the card view, but these two actions sit inside that, and each one only fires off whenever the specific condition makes it so. What I'll do is scroll all the way up and create a new action on the products table, and I'm going to call this tap this product. And the type of this is going to be a grouped execute a sequence of actions. And the actions we want to do are either add the new line item or add the duplicate. Seeing as how these have mutually exclusive logic, it doesn't matter which order you put them in. I do not want to see this, and I'm going to, is there like a finger? Yeah, ooh, middle finger, there we go. Do that. So the condition is it should always run. So what we need to do now is place this composite action inside the tap event for the card view. We go back to UX and we go to our products view, and yep, we'll go here and click in the white space. So instead of this add new line item, now we want it to be tap this product. So I'm going to save this so we can see what it looks like after everything's propagated. So now, if I tap on an empty one, we already know what's going to happen. But if I tap on one that's already been added, now I get a warning. Notice I forgot to set the display name for this action. So that's why you see the actual name of the action itself. So if we go back here to, not this one, but yep, add duplicate. So the display name, this is what you change in order to show whatever you want this button down here to say. And so I just want this to say yes. So it'll be, this product is already included in this, what did I type? Is already included inside, with a space. This product is already included inside this order. Are you sure you want to include it again? And then instead of seeing this gibberish here, you'll see the word yes, opposite no. So I'll click no, save this. All right. If I do that, there we go. I get my yes, no. So the next logical thing for us to do is create an action that a user can press once they're done building their order that moves it out of the building phase. There's actually a couple of ways you could do this. You could just make this order status field a quick edit on this view. So if we go to the view and I say quick edit order status, that would give somebody the ability to change this, and then that moves it out. You know, you could do that. We could make the order status button render as buttons, so that there's like the actual like complete. They can hit complete, and when they do, it goes away, just like that. Just like you saw, it went away, and we'd have to come back up here to orders to look at our complete order. I think I like that flow. I do. I think I like that. The last bit of this puzzle is we need a navigation action that serves as a fallback for what happens when somebody taps on the card view, but there is no open order. So as of right now, if I tap on one of these products, nothing happens. That's because the actions that we've told it to execute, all of them are false at this instance. So what we really need to do is create another action, a navigation action that will take us to the product detail view of whatever product we just clicked on. The first thing we should do is get the name of the actual view that we want to view the record in, and that will be product detail. So if you click on it and scroll down to the bottom, there's this app link section where you can really easily copy the name. So we create a new action here. We'll call this view product, lives on the product table. The do this is go to another view within this app. It's the fourth one from the top. And the thing we want to do is this is a link to row. And the first part we provide is the key value for the row we want to go to. In this instance, it's just key. The second argument is the name of the view that we want to see that record in, which is what we've copied before, product detail. Further on down here, let's see. So I do not want to see this. I would call this a nav. Let's see, there's a branch. What was the name of it? Yeah, here we are. And the condition is true. This is a fallback. We always want this to happen. And what we do is we put this fallback into our tap sequence at the very bottom. Composite actions always execute in the order in which you put them. So if you have conditional logic on your actions, such as like we do, where this one only runs where the product itself isn't in the order yet. And this one only runs if the product is in the order. But both of these only run if there is an open order, right? So because I have these conditions for when they should run and when they shouldn't, I can put them all into a stack and execute that stack from a single place. And it gives the illusion, right, brings about the functionality of different functions depending upon the context of what's happening inside the app. Save this. You can see what this looks like. Now, when I come to the product table and I click on something, I see the individual product. I can see its details, blah, blah, blah. But if I come here and I create a new order, now, when I click on them, I add them. Oh, wow, that's interesting. That might be because the order of operations. No, okay, let's check our logic. So the first one didn't fire off when it should have. It's not in key building order products detail. Okay, yeah. And is not blank building orders. Yep, okay, that should work. Why didn't it work?
One eternity later.
You know what's happening? You know what's happening here? It is an order of operations issue. So the duplicate one only runs if the record is inside the slice already. But I was executing the one that would create the record first. So it would create the record, and then the duplicate one would run immediately after that saying, hey, you just created that. You sure want to do it again? The solution is to make sure that you have your order of operations in the right order. And this is the correct order. First, we need to check for a duplicate. Then we need to check and run the actual item. So the duplicate will run once the duplicate is there, but when it's the first item, the duplicate won't run. That's how you get that functionality to happen. My bad. And with that, now when I tap on it, yep, there's our duplicate. There's our, oh, okay, there's another thing that we need to do. When there is a building order, we do not want that view action, the fallback at the very bottom. We don't want that one to execute. So we need to put a condition on that. That's the opposite of one of these. If we come inside here and just copy this and open our view, we can come in here and we can say, we only want to execute this when is blank building orders. So we only want this view action to fire off whenever there's not a building order. And with that, we have our functionality to where if I click on a duplicate, when there is a building order, I get a warning. If I click on a normal one, it just adds the product. When I complete my, shouldn't this be, I thought we changed that. I thought we changed this to, let's see, orders, enum, drop down, bro. Oh yeah, because we had it to where you can allow others. Turn that off. And then when I come back to my order and I complete it, we're done. Maybe, I don't know. So that's kind of weird. It's kind of jarring to just drop, to just the screen go blank like that. The reason that happens is because the record detail that we were looking at, technically the view has gone away, but we're still looking at that view, but the record that was inside it has gone away. So now we're just looking at the empty view that's left over. Now you could smooth this out, but it would require changing the way that you go about marking that order as complete. Instead of using a quick edit, what I would do is I would create an action that would be another composite action. So it would not only change the order status to complete, but then it would also navigate to, I don't know, say the products table, or maybe the master order table, so you can see the list of all the orders, something of this nature. But those are more further advanced things that you can do with this app. I'm going to do a few more little cleanup things, kind of get rid of some of the tables, change some of the onboarding stuff to kind of explain what's happening inside this app. But That is an alternate way that you can do an order capture. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Was there something that I went a little too fast over? Did I completely skip over something that didn't make sense? Let me know down below. If you enjoy what I do and you want to show your love, make sure that you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if I haven't gotten there yet, subscribe, dude. If you really want to show your love, I have a Patreon page. It's $10 a month. There's a whole lot of goodies going on over there. I've got some projects that got some big stuff going on. You should just check it out. You might like it. Other than that, I'll see you in the community. So, for those of you who have hung around for the end of this video, well, the input function just came out, and I was just thinking to myself as I was finishing off this app, this is a perfect place to add this input function. When you tap on the product and you say, create that record in the other table, I want to ask the user how many they want. I'm going to show you how I did it. So, it's on the data creation action itself, right? So this is the one where we're saying create this product. What I did is I included another column inside the order details table that is a quantity, and I just said input quantity 0. I haven't tested this yet, so let's see what this looks like. So I come inside here to my order, right? You can add in some other stuff if you want. I've got my ongoing order that's ongoing over here, so I can create a quantity. Nope, and it didn't ask me for the input. Oh, you know what? This isn't supported yet. It's not a supported. You know what? This is not a supported functionality of the input value yet. So I'm just gonna leave this input function here. Functionality doesn't work yet, but as soon as this functionality for input is included to where when you're creating a reference record, you can apply an input to the creation. Once that becomes available for public use, this functionality will automatically go live. So anyways, thanks for sticking around till the end. I really do appreciate it.